This is
part
the
18.
beginning of the end of Disc 2.
Really?
Very good, Jova. Okay, Teo, you know what this means, right? You have to introduce the finale by saying this is the beginning of the end of Disc 3.
The beginning of the ending.
Well, actually no, because I have a very special way for us to open the final part. So
Yeah,
Sure.
this is part 18 of Blue Dragon, and wow, this game is really bad because last part I actually got a good taste of potential that is kind of wasted in the overall scheme of things.
don't get me
where
wrong.
are sparks coming from? We just popped we just popped from the metal place.
Well, it's a random machine gun on the wall. It's basically think of it as an environmental trap too.
Okay.
That's basically what it is. Oh my! And I checked how, and I remember how I never answered your question. What are those icons right next to their faces?
Right,
Um,
because Kluk, Shu, and
Yeah, that's
Gyro
because-
have the same one, but
That's because-
Marvins all have different ones.
That's because the icon refers to the current job that they have right now equipped.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
there's a job system?
Jiro, the three main characters I have are generals. Best, and pretty much knows what the name implies. Marumaru is a monk, and Zola is an assassin.
Okay.
Why would you even bother giving them? Okay. This is
Remember
something.
learning the learning trees. It's probably tied to how they learn skills.
No, I get that. It's just the problem is like, oh, okay, giving them classes is one thing, but differentiating between monk, soldier, and whatnot is kind of pointless in regards to how the battle goes, because really, it's their auras that are doing the work, not them. Like, isn't monk the whole, more physical thing? Like, literally, all their attacks is pretty much, well, okay, except for the magic ones, but isn't it pretty much just their auras punching it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Anyway,
I know it's a bit of a
Also- okay.
nitpick in some regards, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like if you called an electric type Pokemon a ground one just because, it does electric type ones, even though by all means it should just be a ground type.
yeah. Also, one thing. I'll let you say what in response to what Jova said at the beginning. Okay, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong, everyone. The gameplay of the game is not exactly, well, it has problems. It's flawed, but it's not exactly terrible or even that bad. It's just that, like I said in the previous part, like there's nothing this game offers that you cannot get from much better JRPGs.
And the
Yeah.
presentation doesn't help either. I mean, okay, presentation is not always... Okay, it is an important thing, but it's not the most important thing. But when your gameplay is lacking, the least you could do is give us some pretty great presentation. I'll give 13 that.
What feels to me is more like wasted potential, because it looks like it can develop in some fashion, but then like halfway it just stops. I mean in terms of the combat with the use of your shadow, the fact that your characters, as the shadows, do not have a weapon. They just use their bare hands, but they don't even attack because the shadows does everything. And I guess it makes some sense for some of the characters, like the kids, because, they're fucking kids. But Zola is a fucking sword! Use it!
Yeah.
Also, I'll say the presentation and graphics are two different things.
True.
I wasn't
well,
talking
well-
about graphics. I was talking about
when it comes
presentation
to
of the
the-
battles.
You said presentation isn't the most important thing. I feel like any game should be presented well.
Oh, fair enough. Fair
True.
enough. What
And
I
when
meant,
it comes to the game,
yeah.
the field gameplay. Sorry, I'm just gonna be extremely quick. When it comes
No,
to
go
the field gameplay, it has all the problems. Where it's not completely bad, but it does have the problems when we mentioned the other parts. Most of the dungeons in the overworld map are empty with nothing to do. Some of the dungeons feel pointless or even plot, I guess.
Welcome to the final floor and the climax of Disc 2 of Blue Dragon, everybody.
And also the whole drawing playable stuff, but sure it can be turned off, but still.
Here's a fun fact tale. You fought the jump. Well, actually, yeah. Teo, turns out I misspoke in the last part. Turns out the Land Shark is not the hardest game. Sorry, the hardest boss in this
This
dungeon.
one.
It's this one. I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot about this one when I answered your last part.
Wait, weren't we inside this giant robot?
No, Joe. We were inside the big round fortress, and the robot is inside it.
To it. I remember that. Here we go.
Okay, so the thing, here's how this boss battle works. We're not actually fighting the giant robot. Well, at least not directly. What we're doing is we're supposed to destroy. This guy is actually a combination of a million tiny little robots, like you guys saw in the previous parts, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea is to destroy the one that's the leader. You're probably wondering which one is the leader. There's no way to distinguish the leader. Like Luke's. Which one is the leader? Just keep killing tiny little robots until you win. That's basically it.
So let me get this straight. We beat its head off and then the robots come pouring out?
There you go.
Yeah, tons of them!
Thank you for pointing that out, Marumaru, because I'm blind, so...
There must be a leader in there somewhere.
Yeah. So let's just keep whacking until we accidentally find them. Who cares about that? Just make them all down. See? There you go. The game flat out tells you that...
Also, how do you even know that there's a leader mechanic to this? Like, whatever suggested that they're controlled by a leader?
The script told them.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's a fun fact tale. And here's the problem. This boss is a gigantic difficulty spike, especially if you're playing on the impossible difficulty, as I am right now. These boss, I'm literally fighting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a shit ton of robots, 9 robots at the same time.
Well,
and notice how each of their attacks damages like almost half of my HP. So you can probably guess I'm pretty much outnumbered here. And keep in mind, I'm maxed out. I have 999 of my HP and NP. And I have the best equipment in the game.
Down, yeah.
Yeah, and I have a shit. So, and I get it. I'm playing on the impossible difficulty, which is a special mode for the ones who want the hardest challenge possible. Now, I get that, but regardless of how hard, Dark Souls is hard as balls, but it's still fair. This is not. Look at that. See.
Yeah, that was a one-hit kill anyway because it did a double that.
By about that, by all means.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah,
and by about that, by all means, should just be a mook anyway. I mean, and I think another problem is like, well, again, okay, look, maybe if they ease us into this difficulty, it would be more fair. The problem is,
but the game doesn't really ease us into it. It just This isn't the difficulty spike. This is the difficulty stalagmite.
I mean, like, seriously. I mean, for all the boss rushes we had, the last ones, you weren't nearly as cornered as this one health-wise as quickly. And the problem is, like, well, this is a turn-based RPG, so it's not like you can even dodge these.
I would like to remind everybody, I've been playing with impossible difficulty since the very beginning of this playthrough. And as you guys probably remember, I pretty much did a good job. Yeah, because I'm maxed out. But suddenly, this boss happens, and it's such a complete thrown off. Like, the game, it's just, I get it, impossible mode, but it shouldn't be literally impossible.
But you know, Pedro, it's the music that is telling him this is actually the beginning of the impossible mode.
Again. And again, we weren't...
Did they just get harder, or did they actually get easier, and it's only this one that's bullshit?
Actually, right after this boss, Shira, we'll go back to being easy.
Really?
Yes.
So why isn't this the final one in this dungeon then?
Your guess is as good as mine.
It's called bad programming, Shiro. I mean, when you make
hold
on. When you make a difficulty spike in a game, you usually want it. When it comes to a company, for example, like Atlus, usually they did it to troll a bit the player, but they still give it a fair amount of options for them to deal the situation, like for example Final Fantasy 13, where you have to play the game exactly as Toriyama wanted, otherwise fuck you. But here, come on, this is just beyond trolling.
Mm-hmm. It's terrible difficult.
It's difficulty that doesn't make sense.
There's no difficulty curve whatsoever. The game just switches from balls. Again, much like in any. I guess. Okay, Basically, since I'm on the New Game Plus, I already have the corporeal attacks, so my attention got full, so now I can use
Wait,
one of my
corporeal attacks? What the heck are those?
Well, the thing is, Joe, but we only get introduced to these attacks on disc free, but since I'm on a New Game Plus, I already have them.
Oh. Wow, these actually look awesome! The kind of animation variation I was asking for.
Yeah, but the problem is that it works like the trance in Final Fantasy IX, so you only get to cast it when the meter fills.
You know, even though this is a main boss, I guess. I mean, if you're maxed out, it could still be difficult, but it shouldn't be as difficult as it seems to be.
And guess what? The leader happened to be among those, so there you go. We're done.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that there's a chance that the leader can't be among that party of robots?
No, but if one of them survive and only that happened to be the leader, I guess he retreats and you have to pop him out again.
Yeah. Fortunately, I killed the leader using my ultimate mega attack, so as a result, the whole boss goes apeshit. There you go.
Goodness.
We'll
No,
get back.
it just disappear like that.
This isn't the worst of it, too. Wait till we get to the final dungeon of the game.
Wait, there's another difficulty, Stalagmite?
Yes. And even worse than this one.
So we talking
But
one
we'll
wing.
get to that. We'll get to it in time, Jova.
So we talking one-winged angels levels of difficulty, or
Wait,
not
one
a
winged
difficult-
angel.
That's the
Jova.
name of that's the name of the song, Chova.
well, you know what
Does
I
that
mean.
too, yeah.
He's literally a one-winged angel, unless you count the.
You know,
six
it's
enemy.
really convenient that that after each floor, Nene constructed this machine that heals my HP and MP. It's a good thing Nene is a fair player, at least.
That
Wasn't
last
the
boss
difficulty
is
spike for
otherwise.
Sephiroth though fair?
Depends, Shiro, because one of the things that I didn't mention in our Final Fantasy VII playthrough is that the game doesn't tell you one thing. If you have, like, I think at least Cloud at level 99, and you've used Knights of Around the Knights of Around summon materia on the final form of Genova before the Sephiroth boss fights, Sephiroth, one winged angel form, gains like the double of the HP he has usually. So
Right.
suddenly it takes a lot more time to defeat him. That means giving him more ample time to cast Supernova multiple times.
Yep.
So yeah, let's keep mowing down for enemies.
These generic robots. Why not? That's another thing that kind of weirds me out a bit. I mean, especially compared to, you know, from what I've seen, only just a single episode of the anime, because Nene is here relying only on the robots, which I presume are just, as we were told, the relics of the ancients that they're using the war. Now he's just taking advantage of them.
Remember, Teo, he's the last surviving ancient, so...
True, and he wants them to use them to take over the world. But when we get to the anime, and now he's, these generic barbarian mooks. I know that the plot is already different from the game, but I really the direction it may go with that.
We'll get to it.
Sure.
Maybe...
Well. Come on.
Damn it, Spencer.
There we go. If it gets to a point where we finish this game before Butuebs comes back, we'll comment it on some Blue Dragon episodes for time.
Nice.
Sure, why not?
Hey, how back at the anime be? Maybe it's better in the long
Right,
run.
Jova, I've seen one episode and it's kinda enough for me. To give an idea, if you don't
It's the
already
exact
know,
opposite.
Oh, I
it's
remember.
It's
Yeah.
still bad, but in a different way, because everyone is annoying or stupid, even so more than in this game. Almost every single voice actor is changed for no
Except for
reason
Zola.
whatsoever.
Zola
Except
still
for Zola,
that's the same voice
yeah.
actress.
And they changed them with people who actually worked on the game. For example, Gyro in the anime is voiced by Sam Riegel. So,
Weird.
what the fuck?
Well,
That's because
I'm guessing Sam
Pedro
Riegel
told me-
probably will still voice the king when we get to it.
I don't know. That's because Pedro told me the anime was made outsourced by a different company, I guess, so...
Yeah, Sakaguchi didn't work on the anime at all.
But still, the lack of communication between the game developers and the anime developers is terrible. Plus, from what I've seen on the synopsis, they, aside from altering the plot that we saw through the episode, Jova, they added a couple of characters which pretty much have no relevance or are. Oh, hold on.
I
For those who
know
aren't
this.
familiar, look at level 5's cross-media franchises for how to do something like that. Anyway, yeah, Nene is up there, maybe or whatever.
Something or other. Not even that, not just that, but even, I mean, level 5 perfected it, but I would argue that even with the difference we took, even Pokemon at least had a better sense of direction
did.
than
Pokemon,
this.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Ace Attorney, heck, even the infamous Danganronpa
great.
anime did.
Let's disregard the anime in that one, Joker.
What, Danganronpa? Okay.
No, the Ace Attorney.
It's
about,
not the
uh,
worst anime, honestly.
What about that other one? I know that the whole franchise is bad that you guys told me, but in terms of being consistent, how consistent is both the anime and games of Sword Art Online?
The games came after, remember, the anime came first because it's not how
Yeah.
because it's,
Well, I get that.
Oops.
Faith to the anime, please?
So we have to fight him.
Since it's based on the genre of people trapped in an MMO.
Don't you feel so conflicted now?
Okay, do we actually need to fight him? Oh, we do.
Sword Online.
Is he using a vacuum cleaner?
They're gonna say,
Hey, check out that machine. Is that some kind of sweeper?
Is Wiper no swiping? No.
we'll get to it. Keep going, Joe, if you want.
No,
Oh,
but
is it Tenno? Oh, okay.
But basically, yeah, the genre is the same attack. Children trapped in MMO, and it's all about the subtext is about growing out and not surrendering to your escapism and everything, which is a good idea on paper. The problem is Sword Art Online instead goes kind of the opposite. The protagonist instead enjoys being there, and he even finds a girlfriend, which he actually copulates with him, and actually even has a child. That's
in the
fantastic.
data world. Not to mention the fact that he kind of dooms a few people along the way, people who want to get out. Oh my god, I just realized.
To give you contrast, the main character of Dottak GU, the second series of Dottak, this character called Azeo, is regarded by many just by his design as the epitome of edginess. Why? Because of his design. I mean, one of his very first form is like...
Sure.
Right?
Kinda looks like he's resisting that sweeper.
He's stuck.
Basically, that sweeper is somehow mind controlling him. Don't ask me how the hell a sweeper
I'm
can mind
sorry.
control someone.
I'm sorry,
Theo, it's ancient technology.
Vacuumers. I can't.
So we have to attack the controller. What happens if you attack Yazato?
Oh, okay, she's having dinner, that's why.
That worked. We can attack the sweeper without hitting anyone else.
There you go, we're supposed to destroy the sweeper and the battle will end. Okay, let's have Yazato resist, so we can smash that sweeper to bits. You see, Shu's entire thought process is to just break shit.
But seriously though, what happens if you attack Yazato while he's in that phase?
Probably
I
not
tried.
standard game over.
Actually, no, I tried, and apparently he has infinite HP, because you cannot actually kill him.
Yay! That sweeper has Nene's mark on it.
Well, Teo, look at the bright side. At least Sakaguchi didn't kill off Yazato, because I was seriously expecting him to do it at this
Me
point.
too, honestly, at this point, yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. When has Sakaguchi ever killed a character who we thought would not die?
Well, he has, but he actually earned it in previous games. That's
True.
That's the thing. But in here, this game is so cliche, and the introduction of Yazato and the other robots, it was so blatantly done for emotional manipulation that I was expecting it.
Well, I don't know if it was completely his fault or someone else, but all the fake deaths in Final Fantasy IV starts getting annoying at some point.
Now's our chance. Attack the
that was his
sweeper.
fault too. Remember, he wrote the whole thing there. He was pretty much the big driving force of the Final Fantasy series at that time.
Anyway, as I was mentioning, oh no, we're meeting 3. Hold on, I guess there's a cutscene now.
Are you alright? Are you hurt?
I am all right.
Where are all the other
I am so
bots?
sorry.
They all
I-
died.
I know he's trying to. The actor is trying to make a, trying to be a robot, so no expression, but it's not working.
You should leave right away.
I think the problem is that instead of going full, 800 or something, instead he has this. He's in this twilight space of kind of emoting, but kind of not emoting. So basically, it sounds really off. Oh, and Zabo's still.
You exploded.
Twice.
You're alive.
Are those robo intestines?
I don't.
Just leave him
Okay,
to me.
Sakaguchi-san. There's making a game for kids, and then there's making a game for toddlers. Robots don't have intestines.
Unless
Well,
Transformers Prime.
Unless it's Metal. Well, very more like cyborgs, where Metal Gear Rising. Is
No. That's
Yeah.
those are cyborgs. That's different.
and
Anyway,
nanomachines.
Transformers Prime.
All right, time for the plot dumping exposition.
not just that, but there's also the fact that symbolism much.
Why-
Anyway,
Why are those statues full of pearl pimps or pimples?
okay. Let me also say something. Zola stayed behind to defeat Zabo in our stead.
Also, I love how Yazato, despite saying we should only just...
Oh, hold on, Jova. It's now. We're finally going to see why Nene is so evil.
Our life and death struggles are just a game for your enjoyment?
He kinda made that obvious.
But it's not just that, Joe, but he actually has more of a reason, as he's about to say. Even though I hate it, I'll take the Super Pop over this, because at the very least, it felt more legit to me.
Dies.
So there you go. Turns out the ring is not actually a bomb. It was never actually a bomb. It was actually used for discs.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Well, someone's into some weird bondage.
I've seen enough in Thai to see where this is going.
And we have to fight it
Are we
now.
seriously having a mini game for this?
You're serving dinner, Shiroi, by the way?
Jesus Christ.
I guess so. Anyway, yeah, like the game says, pull down the left stick and mash the button that's on screen.
I can't wait to see what is the reason for all this madness.
It's really infantile and stupid, and honestly, like I said, even though the Super Popes is still terrible, I still think it felt a bit more legit than this. Because if anything, because the Super Pope actually looked more menacing.
Yeah, and a better costume design.
You talking about his human form or his
Human form.
Both.
Keep in mind, Jova, the human form was designed by Tetsuya Nomura.
Yeah,
At least the clothes.
Yeah, I actually really like. Well, actually, no. Too. He designed all the characters. He did all the character design in 13. It was in 13 too that he only did faces.
Wait, hold on. How does this summon their auras? What was that?
Remember, Jabba, Theo called it last part. He's actually those turns. He's about to explain, so just pay attention.
Oh,
Oh.
more colors. Okay.
Just pay attention. He's about to explain anyway.
Okay, that minigame was a waste of our time.
Don't you just love that? Don't you?
I
Here we
know,
go.
right?
All right, everybody, pay attention.
Never meant to explode.
Very good, Zero. Very good.
Steering us was your plan all along.
Wait. But he's had all these chances to catch them.
Your bravery are all perfect vessels with which to nourish my soul.
Give yourself a pat in the back too.
Okay, so why? Okay, so
What is
why?
more of this fucking game?
Seriously, why couldn't he have captured them before then? He had so many
Because he
chances.
probably needed
I-
them to be strong enough.
Very good, Teo. I'll get to them. There you go.
Do you
Listen here.
understand?
Here it is. Here's his motivation.
Others enjoy the strength and violence of youth, while I alone suffer the
Eternal youth.
Oh.
Of course.
Why has that fate befallen
Dragon
me?
Ball Z.
No, it's not even
what
just
is
that.
that?
He's literally going, why am I old? Why can't I be young like the others? Dude, you're not the only old man in the world.
You're-
Get the fuck over it.
You're
That's right, ladies
10,000
and
years
gentlemen.
old.
Is he
His
having
entire-
an existential crisis?
His entire motivation is that he doesn't like being old.
So
That's
he's
literally it.
so he's literally having a midlife crisis.
Not just
Teo,
that.
Teo, I'm not even kidding. I felt the super post motivation was a bit more
Not
legit
just
than this.
that,
At
there's a
least.
Final Fantasy antagonist which has a similar motive but done much better and much even if it's a more simplistic way. Xande from Final Fantasy III.
Which, allow me to remind you, was also written by Sakaguchi.
Yeah.
Your vessel. So basically, his evil plan was to lure a bunch
So
of.
he's sucking the youth out of him or something?
Yeah, well, actually, he's about to explain. But well, whatever. I'll just say it now. Basically, Shiroi, the blue shadows that he gave us. Basically, these blue shadows that he gave us are actually his power, and he puts those shadows in us so that we can get stronger. And the stronger we get over the course of the game, the stronger his actual soul will be. That way, now he can reclaim his soul back, and then he'll regain all of his power and become young again. That's basically it.
So wait, basically those blue souls are their souls?
No, they're all parts of his soul.
I get it, but why the heck did... Okay, I get that, but then why did the
It's so
protagonist...
convenient that Zola is not here, so we can capture her too. What the fuck? To take a dump.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Sakaguchi managed to outdo Motsumo Toriyama at his own game.
Congratulations.
I don't even.
Wow, only his wrinkles disappear.
And there you go. There's his real
It's
shadow.
a purple...
There you go. Here's young. Nene. This is how. Okay, so you'd think now that he's finally young, he would at the very least be happy and just be happy with that. No, but he still wants to take over the world because evil.
Oh, so he'll
There you
resurrect
go.
your magic.
Yes, Daft Roy. It's Nene. You don't need to tell us. We're not.
Oh!
We're not.
Hold on, what was with the Photoshop there? Was it
And
good
yet it's still
cameras?
to use a stupid mecha.
That is
Of course you
ridiculously
won't.
Shiroi, don't you feel? But don't you see, Shiroi? He didn't want to become old. How dare you be young? I should be young too.
Dude, you're
His neck is
10,000
a
years.
snuck.
You're 10,000 years old.
It's more like an ostrich.
Okay. See, here's the thing. If they went for the whole fear of death angle, I would understand. But it's not even that. He just doesn't like being old. Literally it.
You know, Albedo from Xenosaga will look at this guy and say,
And guess
fuck
what?
you.
You think okay, but no, it's okay because turns out Shu still has some power.
because
Because-
protagonist.
Because of course.
Excuse me, it was always the auras that did that, not them
Exactly.
physically,
Oh, trust me,
unless he absorbed it.
Jova, trust me. They'll actually give an explanation for why he suddenly has this
Because
power.
he's special.
Even Nene said you should have no magic at all. They're actually going to give an explanation, Jova. You're not gonna like it. Teo in particular is gonna hate it. But in fact, Teo already kind of called it a few parts ago.
Let me
I
guess,
don't
they
remember,
absorbed the
so-
energy out
Power
of
you
of
said-
friendship.
Very good. Well, it's not power of friendship specific. Oh, whatever. Who cares? I'll just say it.
Magic doesn't
Basically,
fight
what Shu is
Sherlock.
gonna say later. I'm not kidding, Teo. This is an actual line that Shu says when they all regain their powers eventually in this free. I get it. Our magic lives in our hearts. I'm not kidding. That's a natural line from the game. They literally go there.
Jesus.
This is one of the most lazy examples of writing I have ever
hold
seen
on.
in a video game.
Wait, it gives you the ability to attack. Why?
I have no idea. This is just weird programming.
Basically, the game but just see, Teo, it's interactive this way.
Honestly, the QTEs in God of War
There you
are
go.
way more.
So there you go. What I did there was, turns out you're actually supposed to flee. And here's an interesting thing that I haven't brought this up yet, but now it's relevant, so I will. Here's an interesting thing. In case you guys haven't noticed, unlike the other characters, Shu doesn't have a flee command, aka the command to run away from battles. That's to emphasize his
He doesn't
theme of
give
not
up.
not giving up. But starting with from this point in the game, he will actually have the flee command, which I just used now, which is supposed to indicate that he's now learned that sometimes it's okay to give up. So there you go, Teo. That's Shu's character arc. He learned to give up. And that's the end of this too.
I am so invested, not for the wrong reasons.
Ladies and
Shiroi,
gentlemen,
what do
welcome
you
to
think?
Disc Free of Blue Dragon.
So Shiroi, isn't your heart sent a flutter by this change in characterization, this development?
No.
But Shiroi, he learned that it's okay to give up. And now he's having a dream that has nothing to do with anything. It's just cheap horror.
More blue big lip litigator moment.
Kinda, yeah. This is not actually happening. This is just a dream he's having. Don't worry. Trust me. This doesn't have anything to do with anything. This is just Sakaguchi being dumb.
Oh no.
Oh no!
You know
Yeah.
exactly-
Hey Teo, you want to talk about gameplay story segregation? You truly believe that the main characters were killed at the beginning of this free, right?
I know, right?
That's a pedo face. That's a pedo face if I've ever seen one.
Now get in my truck.
What the heck are you saying? Let go!
Yeah,
What's that light
I don't get this. I don't get this. He tells him to look. What is this even?
A vision
The
of the
world
future.
in ruins?
Yeah, but what is this? What is this specific place? I don't even know what it is.
Castle, whatever
It
it
looks
was.
like where Jody's
Jabral, I'm guessing?
And that's it. We're never going to bring up that dream or that vision ever again.
Because we have to prevent it from being the future.
Also, are the characters stuck with those colors for the rest of the game now?
No. Well, it's basically till they have to get back their magic to break those colors.
You know what would be more interesting?
What?
If those callers turn this into a battle royale situation.
Yeah,
I'm
I agree.
surprised they didn't do that.
And then it
Alright,
comes with, now you need to be in specific regions of the world at specific times, unless you otherwise you
Your
explode.
head's gonna go.
All right, gameplay explanation. Up until we finally get our magic back, this means we don't have our shadows. AKA, we cannot use magic, we cannot change jobs.
So we're back to using rocks.
Yes.
I found you lying.
Hey, I remember when Kingdom Hearts did something like this.
It was painful.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, they're
Wait, which part is that again?
Hollow
Bastion.
Bastion.
Part one where you're stuck with the wood sword.
They were very
Oh, that. I don't know. I thought the way Kingdom Hearts did it was way better than this, honestly.
Oh, it was
I don't
better. It
I
was
don't
better,
mean
but it was still
story-wise,
painful.
I mean gameplay-wise going through it.
Eh,
Sure, this game is still worse in that regard.
Honestly, I thought the Beast was fine enough to take care of enemies for me. Honestly, I never had it.
You had a better AI than the one I got, man.
Same.
I don't know.
I don't remember a lot of Kingdom Hearts 1.
Because
It's a-
don't you just love when you have to rely on RNG?
Yeah.
Well, I understand that, but me personally, I never had any problems. I was fine with it, honestly.
You got
Well,
lucky.
aren't you the lucky one?
Devour Village.
Hey Teo, I wonder if this village.
The design just makes me wish I was playing Bloodborne.
Oh my god, this is like Bloodborne.
You
So
know,
when's the part when
Devour
everyone tries to
Village
kill
makes it
us?
sound like this is
Except
the place where it
Bloodborne
happens.
looks except Bloodborne looks amazingly dark and gothic, whereas this just looks like shit.
Yeah. Alright then, see you for the next part.
See everybody for
Yeah.
disc free.
Yeah.
See everybody.
Bye.